All right, welcome back. We're going to start part two of this two-part series on the weather. And right over here, my buddy Rude.
What up, gang?
Yeah, Aaron, we're going to finish this off real quick because we want a few more things we want to talk to, but we had to get going last time. So we're going to get into this real quick. Now, we were talking about different things like the geoengineering and whatnot. So we have a couple more things we're going to show real quick just to give you some questions like really what is going on and see what's happening. So we'll get into this real quick right now, and then we'll move on. All right. This is the one I believe that shows the high frequency pulses on the radar. Now, what is that coming out of the storm there? Front. Very interesting. Can you explain that?
Huh. That's odd.
Yeah. Little interesting, isn't it? All right. So then let's see. Then the next one I've got is going to be this one where this guy talks about. Now, this is interesting, and then maybe you've seen these or not. I don't know, but this is kind of interesting, and we'll get into this. And this guy talks about it right here.
In the world is happening off the coast of Anna Maria Island near the coast of Florida. Not only is there sonoluminescence happening, but check this out. There are literally waves in the patterns of squares. This is a person right there, and I've never seen anything like this. It is quite bizarre, and I don't think I agree with what the mainstream is saying, because the mainstream simply says that square waves, also known as cross seas, are caused by the meeting of two sets of ocean waves from different weather systems. Well, maybe I would believe that if there weren't also crazy square patterns in the clouds in that same area, and also the sonoluminescence going on at the same time. But when you take a closer look, you realize that simple sound frequency can change the patterns of water.
That crazy. Look at that.
Even to patterns that seem to have 90-degree square angles. And certain frequencies just happen to look exactly like those clouds.
I've seen experiments like that. So, yeah.
And when you see certain frequencies can cause certain patterns, and certain frequencies look just like those water patterns at Anna Maria Island. And you also see that certain frequencies can generate light. So maybe what's going on at Anna Maria Island isn't what they're telling us. Maybe they're throwing some frequencies out into the atmosphere.
And okay, that's got to make you at least question something. I don't know if all that's true or all of it's not, but that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is interesting. But why though?
Well,
why would they be doing that? What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, we sit here. They obviously have some sort of reason for it. When I say they, it's them, those guys.
It's those guys.
we all know who they are. So, yeah, so that's kind of interesting stuff. So when we're talking about the FEMA response and different things like that, you come to find out that we've got some interesting things going on where you may or may not have known this or assumed it or not. But what's interesting is that, did you know that FEMA hires out contractors and you can become a preferred vendor?
Oh, you can? That's special.
I know, isn't it so crazy? And what is happening is, maybe does that explain the reason why people were being arrested for trying to help, because they weren't the preferred vendors?
You think they were going to take money away from the preferred vendors by choppering in on their private choppers?
Right. Chopper. Get into the chopper. But yeah, it's nuts. So this lady talks about this. Yeah, I mean, this is one video. I don't have a ton where they talk, but listen to what she has to say here.
You wanted to make money in government contracts, government cleaning contracts, right? Well, in this video,
these damn commercials. I will cut
All
this out.
their customer service. They answered to me right away. They were very helpful. They were very
Video, I'm going to talk about an agency that is looking for us, you and I, right now, when it comes to doing government cleaning contracts. You ready? Here we go. One of the agencies that's looking for us right now is FEMA. FEMA is desperately looking. They're on the hunt and the chase for janitorial companies to provide all kinds of services, whether it's supplies or equipment or water. There are so many things that they're looking for janitorial companies to provide. So with that said, get busy visiting FEMA. There's a small application that you have to fill out. I absolutely have that on.
Okay, so go there, check it out, and see if you can become a preferred vendor for not just janitorial, but I would imagine many different disciplines.
That seems like a sketchy, I don't know, sketchy thing to get into. Because who knows what they're gonna contract.
Oh, I know.
yeah.
It is interesting, because it's like a big boys club. Everybody's
Yeah.
in the same. Yeah. I will go, and it happens everywhere. This is not new.
No.
When you have, for example, we've been in advertising for 173 years, I think, right? Something like that. And
Yes,
we certainly
after
know that.
last week.
At least it seems like it. Jesus. Yeah. So when we work with somebody we've known at a particular company, and we've become good friends and whatnot with them, and have a good relationship, and they move on to another company, chances are they come back to us because they've worked with us before.
Mm-hmm.
Or any other agency. It's just the way it goes, and so it's not unheard of. So I think as much as you would get into FEMA, it would be the same type of thing. Once you're in, you're in.
You're right. That's exactly what I was going to say. Once you're in, you're in. And then the scary thing is about that, though, you're at the government's bidding. So basically, you kind of have to do what they say after that. And if you say no, then what?
Right. Well, then you don't get the next opportunity for the contract.
And then your NDAs are in question. And then you have people in unmarked vehicles sitting outside of your house or your company's building.
Now you're just a conspiracy theorist now.
I might
stop
be.
it.
I might be.
Yeah, you stop it. Come on. That's just crazy.
Did I go too far down that rabbit hole? Maybe not.
But have you noticed a lot of companies in your local areas, your states and things like that? The ones who got big, the ones who are like a lot of the construction companies that build the highways or bridges or whatever. And I'm not going to name names here in town but you know them, Rudy. We've worked on their stuff.
Yeah, we worked on their stuff.
Did you notice that they're the ones that are getting a lot of these state contracts? And then all of a sudden they're huge companies making a lot of money.
Well, and those same companies, they didn't really feel the pinch, the COVID pinch.
Yeah.
They just kept on rolling. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, it raises some questions.
So it's not far-fetched to think that FEMA has their preferred vendors after she's telling us, hey, go check. And please, by all means, I'll try to add a link to the FEMA site if I can remember to put it on the description. But go check it out and see if you can get in there as a vendor for whatever category you can think of.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, it's gonna boost business, and you're not gonna be slow. So you might have to travel, but at the same time,
you can work slow.
Yeah,
it's a government.
It's a government. Yeah,
we arrived 5 days after the disaster, but hey, we're here.
We made it.
Well, in contrast to that, isn't it interesting that if you actually have somebody who knows what the hell they're doing, unlike the Biden-Harris administration. Dang it, did I mess that up? Is you actually, when you have somebody who knows what the hell they're doing, this is the type of response you're going to get. So this is some people would think he's a beloved governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and other people think he's the devil. But I think he's actually pretty good, because this is kind of what he got ready and prepared for, knowing the storm was coming in, where they can move in instantly to help out the situation. And these are power trucks, linemen getting
Oh, yeah.
power lines and everything back up. And I think you're going to shit your pants when you see how many people are here ready to rock and roll.
Did see this.
See all those white trucks in the very yeah. Oh, they're zooming in on them. Look at that. Those are power line trucks ready to get in.
That is insane.
Staging area outside of Orlando. Is that crazy?
Wow.
Now that's somebody who knows what the hell he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So he got all that ready to go, and so he could get in there. I apologize for this here. Yeah, ready to go so that they can kind of move in and get stuff done.
Well, that was even before. That was before the government.
That was before they knew it was coming, and he got everything ready to go. So as soon as the storm passed, jump right in. Not 5 days later, like 5 hours later.
That's pretty balls.
Yeah. Dude's a stud. I'm glad he's still the governor of Florida and not running for president right now. His time is coming. I think he would be great if he runs the country like he runs Florida, unlike Gavin Newsom, who would run, the nation like he runs California. We'd be broke and overrun by just shitstorm of shit.
Yeah. All the shit you can think of.
Yeah. So, So anyway, we've got some more stuff. We're going to kind of whip through this because we need to rock and roll through this stuff today to get more. But here's some more stuff that they talk about, and this is just a couple minutes long. We may not do the whole thing, but let's check this out.
And then there's this aspect of all of this, Sandra. Listen to this: the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is warning that FEMA does not have enough funding to make it through the rest of the hurricane season. But the department has hundreds of millions of dollars designated to support illegal migrants. Chad Pergram is live on Capitol Hill with this. Chad?
John, good afternoon. Here's the conundrum. Republicans point to a man-made disaster like the border crisis having enough money, but the response to a natural disaster like Helene running low on cash. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says FEMA is fine for now.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
So let me stop it there for a second. What do they have the funds for?
Yeah.
Ukraine, maybe?
Yeah, I don't believe this at all. I mean, it's funny because what is it? This is the House or the Senate that holds the money. They're the bankers.
Yeah, I think it's the House. Yeah,
the House. Yeah. And I just don't understand why they can't just take money from somewhere else where it's not being used either effectively or correctly, and bring it to maybe FEMA's pockets, and actually work. Yeah, actually, yeah, exactly, and actually give it to the people, our people that need it in a natural disaster. That's what I don't understand. And from what I've heard, they're out right now. They're out of session, and so. What's holding them back from having a special session? I can't remember exactly what that's called, but
well, they do it. They've done it time and eternity.
They've done it, a billion times, exactly. Right. But they can't be bothered for a natural disaster that happened to the U.S. that displaced countless people, businesses.
What, 5, 6, 7 states at least?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Over like 6 states.
Yeah.
And you can't be bothered to come into a special session to reallocate funds to FEMA.
Yeah. The guy behind me is going to have to take care of some business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's the thing that kind of boils my blood there.
Well, it would be one thing. and it would be, it's blood boiling as it is. But they did this to Maui as well.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
And they here's a paltry $700, $750, whatever, per household for immediate expenses. Well, immediate expenses.
That's insulting. Even for immediate expenses, that's insulting.
It is. And how are most of these people supposed to get it who really need it, who are trapped because both roads in and out of their community have been washed out or destroyed, or their houses are gone?
Yeah, are you gonna mail it to my house that isn't there anymore?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Cell service is down.
And I'm supposed to
Can't
get it
Venmo me.
digitally? How? Yeah, exactly. How? We have no cell service. You know what I mean?
Here's my Venmo QR code, Venmo on there. Send that.
Fire up my computer because there's no electricity. What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? And all the while, I'm standing in 4 inches of mud where my house used to be, and nobody's coming. Been here for 4 days.
And it's probably 4 feet, not just 4 inches. I mean, who knows? But
yeah,
your point is very valid. It's like, and here it is. How many weeks later after these storms have gone through? A month-ish, month and a half, something like that. We're here at the end of October almost now, and I haven't seen much. Now, it's not to say that help hasn't finally arrived, which it has, but just the response and this type of thing is just so suspect. Why are we in an immediate need, and we don't need Congress's approval to send another 10 billion, 60 billion, whatever, over to Ukraine or Gaza and everywhere else, but we can't seem to come up with the money for the people here, like you're saying, who've lost everything because of a storm. And if you think it was natural, great. Where's the still where's the help? If it wasn't, and we've shown you how we've been able to manipulate weather and push these storms where we're at, is that a reason? Because I've got a couple other things that might raise some questions, and of course there's debunking about it, and that's disinformation from the media. Shocker. Telling you that stuff.
We're not obligated to send money to Ukraine. And I don't know why we keep sending the exorbitant amount of money to Ukraine when other countries aren't. And so, but we have no obligation there. As Christians, I'm a Christian man, and we know that we're supposed to protect Israel, right? But at these times, they got to fight on their own, because we got problems of our own to deal with. We have our own people to deal with. Once we get that stabilized, okay, we can go back and help Israel. But the problem is that it's a shrug off, and that's what is so upsetting.
It's like, oh well,
yeah, oh well,
yeah.
You're gonna you're gonna have to do it yourself again.
Well,
and then we're going to raise taxes because we had to pay for all of this. So,
yeah, but we can't just print more money. Apparently, which we already do anyway.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, it's like it's the old analogy I use, with airplane. Put the mask over your face first for the oxygen, then you put it over your child. So we need to be putting the mask over our face so we can get our oxygen first, so we can actually help somebody else later.
Right.
If we're not healthy enough to help somebody else, how can we help them?
Right. And when we're over here just hemorrhaging from all orifices.
Oh yeah.
Right now, I don't agree with the help that we're giving out. I really don't.
No, I don't either. So all of these things are just crazy, weird coincidences, if you will. And it just makes you kind of wonder what's going on. So is there a reason, like in Hawaii we talked about, okay, so that land is valuable for huge multi-billion-dollar resorts that they want to build on the beach, but the old townsfolk are generationally been there forever, and the land is very valuable, and nobody wanted to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So then all of a sudden, maybe a natural disaster, aka hurricane fire, situation happened and destroyed, and now you have no choice but to accept your $30,000 for your house, because what else are you going to do? You have no money. You have no place to, did the same thing happen here? What's going on in these areas? Well, I've got some possible theories on that I found. And you're never going to believe what's going on. And is this true or not? I don't know. We're just going to present the information that you're probably not getting. And maybe you can decide for yourself. You'll get both sides of the issue and then figure it out. So let's see if this makes a little more sense. We've got Hurricane Helene. Conspiracy theories about lithium mining. Wait a minute. What do they use lithium for?
Gotta have it for our smart car batteries.
And everything batteries. So it goes on. In the wake of Hurricane Helene, false rumors about the federal response have spread rapidly on social media. Oh, have they been false rumors, or have they just are rumors that people are wondering what's going on? More extreme conspiracy theories have also taken root, including claims that politicians manipulated the weather to well, we've already gone through that and proven that we can manipulate the weather. So let's not, pretend that that's not a possibility. And the government is trying to seize land in North Carolina to mine lithium. False claims have been the false claims, like they know that they're false claims. Their claims, anyway, have been amplified. High-profile politicians and social media influencers with large followings, despite gaining millions of viewers online. These claims have been debunked by officials. Wait a minute, you're accusing me? And I am actually doing it, but I don't want you to know I'm actually doing it. So yeah, I'm going to debunk them. Do you think that's a possibility of what they might be doing?
Well, those contracts had already been established, and they had already been signed. And the people, the companies that were going to come in and do the mining, those contracts were already done. What's interesting to me is there was talks about this whole thing. Like, I caught wind of it maybe like 2 weeks before the storm even came.
Oh yeah.
That there was a mine there. They wanted to use it. They had sold some contracts. The contracts were there. Companies were ready to come in, and the surrounding community was they were pushing back. They didn't want it. And they were fighting it. Now there was already a struggle going on there. But the contracts were there, and I don't think that it was a situation to where what, we are hearing what you're saying, and let's come to some sort of compromise. What can we do? And I don't know, I don't know the ins and outs of it fully, so I can't speak on that as truth. But I don't know if they were trying to do a bunch of land grab there. So
that's again a conspiracy theory,
right? And so, so to come in and push this weather that far north, and if I understand right, it was already raining like hell. Like a couple days before, from
normal track storms.
Yes, just from regular track storms. So they were already getting a little bit under the water there already. But for this magnitude of storm to come up that far,
which has never happened before, from what I understand.
Yeah, me too.
That anybody can recall.
Yeah, it's just very unlikely.
Very strange.
And so, my question is why? If there was weather control going on, was it just to shut the people up? Was it just to say, well, we're going to do this no matter what, and we don't want to hear your side of it, so
Maui.
we're just gonna maybe see if this will work.
Right. Well, funny you mentioned that, because I've got a couple things talking about that right now. And they kind of talk about exactly what you're saying. So if if you're unsure that this is a possibility, well, it's not just a couple crazy whack jobs like us talking about it. It's some other crazy whack jobs talking about it. So let's listen to what these guys have to say. And there might be some validity in what they're saying.
Is Piedmont Lithium. And what they've been trying to do is expand their mines. The reason why they can't, this whole community here in Gaston County has for years been telling Piedmont, we're not doing it. Government has a vested interest because they need to compete with China for these lithium deposits. In North Carolina, there's two things.
Yeah, because we're trying to push EVs on everybody's ass that nobody really wants, and that they're the EV, the manufacturers are losing money on, except for Tesla, I think.
Garbage.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
That are crucial here. First is lithium. This whole area got wiped. You ain't got no house. You ain't got no community. You ain't got no protests. We can now build our mines. The other thing that got destroyed was these court mines here. And they've been wanting to expand their mines. But the same thing, these communities have been protesting. And the government will claim all this land under eminent domain under the guise that we need to rebuild. So if you protest and you put up too big of a wall, they're just going to send a hurricane and wipe it out.
Bodies are not being recovered and are being left in the street to rot. Government officials are coming in and seizing land from people and forcing them to move away from their already destroyed homes. Schools of Chimney Rock, North Carolina are saying that government officials held a town meeting yesterday. They were told that they would not be able to move back to their homes even if they were still standing. The government was seizing them and it was no longer their property. Said that the entire town is going to be bulldozed and that the bodies that are out are just going to be left to rot.
Okay, so if that's true, that's just sick.
That is sick. We're not a third world country. That is disgusting.
That is about as evil as it gets.
I hope that's not true.
I hope that's not true either. That's about as evil. It kind of goes back to the Palestine, Ohio train wreck. What was there? Because they allowed that shit to kind of stay. They didn't clean it up. They told people everything was fine, and fish and animals and different things were dying, and obviously the air with the toxic chemicals burning from the train cars and everything like that. Well, it was around Palestine, Ohio. Was there something there? I don't know. I'm asking a question because that's what we do. We ask questions to try to figure out what's going on. There's another one coming up. I'm going to show you here. That may or may not be one of the next ones, but it talks about, let's see, this one talks about, this guy, he talks about not only this, but what's going on with that huge fire that happened in Wyoming that nobody heard about because they're trying to sweep it under the rug or something. But listen to what this guy says, because it's very similar.
It'd be crazy if they found 2.34 billion tons of neodymium in Wyoming. A magnetic mineral, which is pretty vital to computer technologies. Wouldn't it be crazy if Chariot Mining just found the first hard lithium deposits in Wyoming in the last month or so? Wouldn't it be crazy that while all these hurricanes are going on, there is a massive wildfire engulfing the mountains of Wyoming right now, which has burned over 78,000 acres? Wouldn't it be crazy if the media appears to be just ignoring the fact that there's this massive fire in Wyoming? Wouldn't it be crazy if Chariot's stock price has gone up nearly 40% in the last month? Wouldn't it be crazy if these massive fires are only 45 minutes away from Black Mountain, the main project of Chariot Mining Company? That would be crazy. Yeah.
Coincidence, I don't know why that video didn't play. Excuse me, but you get the audio, you got it, you understand what he's saying there. We got two other little things to show you, and then we'll wrap this up on this particular segment. But this is also listen to this guy. I hope it comes up and it actually plays, because you should see the crowds in the background looking at this, and they're kind of like, preach, brother, preach, because he's really talking about some really interesting things here. So let's see if we can get this one to go.
Okay, latest water tested the rain. 13,100 micrograms per liter of aluminum in the rain in 2013. Normally, it should be 0. So 13,100 is pretty damn much, folks. It used to be 0, then it was 100s in the 2000s, And then since 2010, it's into the 1,000s and the latest 13,100. In the snow on Mount Shasta, pristine Mount Shasta, 61,000 feet. No, excuse me, 8,000 foot level, 61,000 micrograms.
I don't know when this video was shot. It looks kind of old just because it's shitty quality. But if this was many years ago, can you imagine how much worse it is now?
Yeah, and that's coming from pristine heights.
Yeah, he goes on, and it'll kind of freak you out a little bit.
Per liter, 4 times the amount that is found in the soil up there. Where in the hell is this stuff coming from if it's not coming from the soil? You know, these tests are international in scope. We're seeing this all over the world, guys. Okay, pH of acid soils is 20 times more alkaline. The aluminum in the soil has doubled in the last 10 years. Aluminum blocks essential nutrients. I am unable in my garden to restore normal pH, and that's because nanoparticles are now in the circulatory systems of both plants and humans. So welcome, fellow guinea pigs.
Do you think that might be a reason for a lot of their cancer diagnoses and all the other diseases we've got going on?
I think so.
And they were spraying this shit in the air. Remember, we showed the iodide particles and how they magically disappeared once it created that raindrop. Remember that? All of a sudden, where did that go?
Where'd that go?
Give me a break. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? He goes on a little bit longer.
Collapse and decrease of agriculture is something I worry about even more than the previous info about autism and Alzheimer's.
I mean, you see what I mean? It is just crazy. So now, of course, we've got that, and now we also have some of the debunkers, the fact checkers, which I totally always believe the fact checkers.
Well,
there.
And I'm just a tiny bit skeptical of everything.
Yeah.
If you know me, but
yes, I do.
I've gone to water filtration like a long time ago, and but the problem is though too is there are certain individuals in my household that still won't drink the filtered water. They have to have bottled water, right?
Oh.
And so we're getting cases and cases and cases weekly of.
But how do we know that's any better than your filtered water, though?
That's the thing. How long has that water been sitting? Yeah. It doesn't have a date on it, a fill date on those plastic water bottles.
Sucking the nanoplastic particles into the water.
Exactly. So where are we winning and where are we losing? You know what I mean?
Well, is that why maybe they're using that 1 trillion watt laser that he was what's his name? Kyoko, whatever the scientist was that had the interview with Nora O'Donnell in the last episode we did. Mm-hmm. He's talking about 1 trillion watt lasers. Well, I would trust a laser over aluminum iodide any day of the week, and would rather have that than the iodide, because like he's saying, and like we talked about, we mentioned in the last one, we said, well, is that shit getting into our lungs and accumulating? Is it, these nanoparticles eventually building up? It's, it's like the zombies in World War Z, where they start jumping up on that wall and getting on top of each other. And then, they've built up enough that now they can, get up there. Well, the same thing's building up in your lungs or any other organ in your body. And it's crazy.
And our natural immune systems just can't fight it. You know what I mean? Because it's so foreign. It's
a metal.
It is metal, but it's a man-made situation.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. So to end this kind of on the other side of the coin and give the other point of view, the fact check, which anytime I see something that says fact check, I just want to go, bullshit.
Anybody can say fact check. We could have started this cast saying fact check.
Fact check, right? Well, it's like Obama and Hillary and Corinne Jean-Pierre talking about, this is a fact. These are facts. Okay, just because you say they're facts doesn't make them facts. You're just saying they're facts to run with your narrative.
and to our listeners, you know, I mean, we know you're not stupid, and
No, of
we know
course not.
we're not stupid. And so the thing is like, but my head every single time I hear fact check or something like that or debunk, that those are the the stories or the situations or whatever that I tend to dive a little bit deeper on and see really what the facts are and what the facts aren't, because a lot of the times just doesn't add up.
Well, yeah, and exactly, because every time I hear fact check, this story false, I just in my head go, fact check, this story probably true.
Fact check, and they're covering something up.
Yeah. So they go into this. The government can't make a hurricane. Okay. A little bit true. I think we kind of talked about that. Is they can really enhance and modify the hurricane that's already starting, so make it more powerful or whatever. And isn't stealing chimney rock. Well, I don't think they're saying but see, that's a misnomer. The government can't make hurricane, and the government isn't stealing chimney rock. Well, maybe the government might be helping Piedmont or whoever the other company is out there in Wyoming for chimney rock. I think that's the one out there, right? Chimney rock. Anyway, but yeah, it's maybe it's not the government doing it, but the government is helping the companies, the corporations get in because they're in bed. Remember, they're preferred vendors, or they're in with the government. It's like the FDA and big pharma, Pfizer, in bed together, and then the third party companies they use to actually do the testing for them are paid by Pfizer at the time doing the COVID test, make sure that the COVID test worked in their favor. I mean, I'm paying you to do the test, so and it better be in our favor so we can show the FDA, who's also in bed with us. It's the same thing here.
Yeah.
So so technically they could be correct by saying the government isn't making a hurricane and isn't stealing chimney rock, but they have a hand in it that they're helping somebody.
Yeah.
So, and here's this other. Is there lithium in Western North Carolina? No, there are lithium deposits and well-established commercial mining interests in Cleveland and Gaston counties. Well, isn't that in North Carolina? Maybe, well, I don't know, more central? Doesn't matter. The hurricane hit the whole freaking state.
Yeah, so that's just gonna say it hit the whole damn state. It's close enough.
Yeah, and has FEMA taken over seized land in Chimney Rock? No. I mean, this is so stupid because it's like you're paying this publication, most likely, and I don't know who this is. I can't remember, but anyway, you're paying this publication to BPR News to do it. And who's funding BPR News? Is it the same people you're saying? It's the fox guarding the hen house at this point. The fox. Well, no, I didn't jump into the hen house and eat those chickens. I'll testify that. Well, you're the guy you're Dexter.
Yeah.
You're investigating your own crime, and do you think you're going to find evidence that puts you away?
Damns you? Yeah, that puts you on the spot. No,
it's Dexter, man. This is Dexter. All of this shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's what we got enough for you on this here today, you guys. We appreciate you coming. Make sure you check out our Etsy store at therudebarn.etsy.com. And then also check out the Bearded Viking, which has got some fantastic mead products, honey beer, if you will. It's kind of a product. You want to tell a little bit about that real quick, and then we'll get out of here?
Yeah, honey wine. Beardedviking.com. You can go ahead and jump on there. And if you are in 42, I believe, of the 50 states in the U.S., you can get it shipped right to your door. If you are not, we are trying to get it to your local liquor store and to your DABC. And so you can get it from your liquor store. But Bearded Viking mead, go check it out if you like mead, if you like flavor, if you like honey, and you like to have a spirit every now and again. It's spirit season, isn't it? Isn't it, Bard? It is spirit season.
Guys behind you are clamoring for some right now.
Yeah, they are.
This guy would kill for some right now. So
it's it's great. beardedviking.com. Go check it out. Get you some bottles and then show some love. Send
and if you support us,
send us something.
Yeah, love it. And like, subscribe, share, comment, and then again, check out our Etsy store. We're trying to fund this so we can do this more often for you because we love bringing you guys a lot of information. Again, it's therudebarn.etsy.com. There's 2 ways to get to it. That's just the easier one to remember. So we kind of put it on the screen. And then, I'll throw up some screenshots of that in the edited version of this so you can see what you're looking at. And we're going to get moving to the next one real quick. So everyone have a good one. We appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for listening.